Alright, hey guys, Simon here. Welcome back to our Minecraft Design School. Today we have a submission from Petrock508. Is it like Petrock or is it actually Pet Rock anyway? So he's given us his creative world. He's got a pretty long message here. I'm going to read it to you. Well, I guess I'll read the first bit at least. So he says, "Hey, I'm thinking of asking you to look at something in my Minecraft world. Only it's not a completed build." That's fine. Work in progress. It's usually good to look at work in progress because then you have the opportunity to make changes along the way. Whereas if something is finished and then you get other people to look at it and they say, oh, that could be changed and that could be changed and that could be changed, but it's already finished, right? You don't want to change it anymore. Whereas if you're still working on it, and even if you're still thinking about it, it's still early on in the conceptual stages, you can get ideas and then you can modify your design as you go a lot easier. So there's nothing wrong with uncompleted builds. In fact, sometimes it's more useful. So anyway, let's keep going. He says, it's survival and a fairly large scale, so I figured getting advice beforehand would be best. Yes, that is correct. He says, I have done some planning and creative, so this is the creative work that he sent me. He says, but my ideas are kind of scattered all over the place on signs. I've put torches next to them so you can spot them from a distance. And you might find it difficult to understand them because they're vague and muddled. Okay. So he's got a creative world where he experiments, I guess. I don't know what's with the towers though. Is he like designing columns? That's pretty cool. Anyway, that's not what we're looking at. Why are there so many towers? So I think we're meant to be reading signs and starting here. Is that what he's talking about, or is that what he's talking about? What are these? Space, oh, I see. Space between floors. Level 6 storage. Oh my. Is he seriously gonna make it that big? Storage, lava, mine, bedrock. So the bedrock is there, the mine is going to be at that level, so that's the diamond mine. That's the lava, and then that's storage. I should read more of this before I explore, because he says more things. So he says, since recovering my... Okay, so his save file, he was talking to me earlier as well. His save file got corrupted and we spent quite a long time trying to fix that, and we have. He says he's moved to a new area, and the first thing I build when I do that is a storage room. The plan is basically to dig a 80 to 83 by 80 to 83 by 59 hole, which I've estimated to take 60 hours using stone pickaxes. 80 by 80 by 59. Just think about that for a bit. So he's going all the way to bedrock and 80 by 80. I don't know if that's smart. I mean, you can leave space for that. I don't know what you're gonna put in it. Like how much stuff do you have? That's a huge storage. Anyway, let's just keep going. I don't know. Like, does it need to be that big? How do you, like, what do you have? Anyway, once it's hollowed out, I want to have a large open room with areas in each of the 4 walls on 4 separate levels. Okay, 4 levels. Each one is a large open room with areas in each of the 4 walls. Okay. I hope that makes sense to you. I think it makes sense to me. Which is separated into a lower and higher level, the latter of which is only for aesthetic purposes, making a total of 16 areas of 4 modules of 2-row storage rooms. Okay, I think we need some sort of diagram. Does he have a diagram? Is that a diagram? Is that like a sketch or I don't know, does it need to be that big? What is this? Unfinished build. Okay, that's a separate build. That's not a diagram. What does he say? I have finished designing these rooms in creative mode. I want them to be compact, and I took some ideas from your library. The idea behind the storage room is that whenever I need more storage, I can just extend the chest rows further into the wall. This means that for some items which require less space, I won't need to dig in very far, but for blocks such as cobble and dirt, I will. Okay. Wait a minute, so that's just the opening. For the actual storage, it's gonna keep digging into the ground to put in more chests. I'm not 59, 41, 29, 17, 5. What? Floor number, contents, and height. Lava, ore gems, items, and okay, so he's got it. Okay, so so he's got math. He's counting blocks, which is good. What is this stuff? I'm least happy with these columns. Wow. Okay, so he's got columns. He says, keep in mind that they're going to be 4 times taller in survival. When I build it, I want to use them to connect up to 4 different zones on each floor. But I'm not sure how to split the floors. Not sure how to do the columns, and not sure how to split the 4 floors neither. I don't know. That looks okay to me. Like, what are you not happy about? I mean, you can look up columns in the real world. I mean, this looks okay. I think the materials might be a bit odd, like the yellow and grey like that. I don't know. Like, you need to figure out why you don't like this, because I can't see any real problem with it from my perspective. So is this the storage? Like, is this the modules? This is the to scale model of one of the 4 levels. Okay. These are the modules. One item will have 1 to 2 modules. I didn't replicate this in the plan due to time constraints, but you can see where it will be. Look, bro, friend, if you're running into time constraints in creative, you're gonna have some serious issues in survival. Let's keep it real. I mean, this is a scale model? Are you meaning to say that the real thing is gonna be bigger than this? Are you really sure you need it that big? Okay, I think these are the columns. These are these columns, so it's gonna be like 4 times bigger in each direction. I think that's what he means. I'm not sure though. Let's see what's going on here. So storage. Okay. And then above that you have storage and furnaces. I like this arrangement. Like, everything's very efficient like this. Like, you just kind of look at the ground to get the... I think this is a separate design, but that's good. And then you have crafting tables. I like this. You know, I like these things. There's a bit of kind of wasted space back here though, in a way. If you've got them in diamond shaped arrangements, you can kind of put in a diamond like there maybe. It might seem a bit strange, like, do you see what I mean? So instead of having like one there, one there, one there, and one there, you can arrange them in like triangles and fit more of them in the closest space. But that's a separate issue. We don't need to think about that right now. What is this? Is this the entrance? See, that looks cool like that. What are these? So he's experimenting with materials. Too many stripes. Too much like a zebra. Maybe fewer stripes and more careful placement of the stripes. Eventually went for this color combination. I want the room to be primarily wood themed, so less sandstone. Yeah, wood is also easier to acquire than sandstone. So he says he eventually went with this, so less stripy. And more wood is probably smart, because you're gonna have a hard time getting sandstone in the quantities that you're talking about. He's still got a message here. I haven't read all of it yet. But let's just explore a little bit. So I guess these are the columns that he was thinking about. Trying to work out a good column design for the... Cool, a chunk. For the storage. So he's talking about corners here? Is that what it's the corners? And then he hasn't built the thing, and then I think he's copied some chunks from his survival. so we can see what's going on with the build. Look, it's gonna be like that. It's cool, but it's gonna take you a long time. Alright, so it's gonna be that tall, and is there anything here? Oh, here it is, I see. Oh wow, look at this. So he's putting it into a mountain. I see, so it's gonna be like this. Oh, I see what this is. So that's the column here. Is that like a staircase? We can't climb up this though. It's not something you can jump up. Alright, so then there's the entrance. See, that's pretty cool. Might want to clean up some of this stuff. But that's still pretty cool. And then inside, hello Simon, welcome to the construction site. Questions, plans, work. What? I don't know. Numbers? This is amazing. Petrock is amazing. Look at this. Numbers. Giant builds. I just don't know, man. Doing this in survival. Look, obviously I don't want to discourage you. But maybe you should consider not building the whole thing at once. Maybe you should consider like building one level of it and just using that at first and then taking a break. Because you know, I've built giant buildings and giant modular buildings as well. It's too much, man. It's too much. I mean, if you can just build part of it and work with part of it, or rather, like you design your structure so that even if you only build the first part, it's still gonna work as a building. Like you don't have to finish it for it to be working. So then, you know, that would be more manageable. This is creative, right? You didn't actually... Yeah, so he's deleted the blocks. See the floating torches. So I guess he went into creative and deleted the blocks like that. And what you end up with is a giant hole in the ground. See, even if you only have one level, that's still a huge build already. So you can do that, like you can always just kind of build one level and then leave the rest for later. Oh no! It's on fire! Oops. Why is it on fire? Oh, the lava, I see. So the lava kind of burnt the column and set the whole thing on fire. Oh no! What's going on? Okay, never mind. It's just gonna burn. Oh, are we safe? Are we safe? We almost... Okay, we're safe. Alright, so... I see, that looks kind of good. Maybe those buttresses need to be a bit thicker than that. They look a bit thin there. Although... I guess they can be like that. It does look a little bit thin. But that's kind of okay. Don't have to make them any thicker than that. Yes, okay. So then the columns at the side, you're doing a lot of designing and creative, and then you're just gonna copy it into survival. Is that how you want to go? Now I think you can build, like if I were you, I'd be comfortable just building it in survival at this stage, because you know, I don't think you really need to. A lot of the stuff you can solve in survival. I know it's more difficult to build in survival, but it's not... I don't think it's too much of a problem. I want a platform here, but not designed yet, so this is just temporary. Yeah, platform. Wouldn't there be like a roof or like a balcony at each level? There would be, right? Okay, let's go back and read his message. Okay, so he says, I've finished designing these rooms in creative mode. I want them to be compact, and I took some ideas. Okay, well actually we've read that already, right? Yep, okay, so I have this following problem. Staircases. Staircases. Everybody has problems with staircases, including me sometimes, to be honest. The various staircases designs compromise the player's view of the space. I want the player to be able to see each of the rooms from any height or position within the square. Well, the only way to do that is to put the staircases outside the square. I mean, if you really, really want to do that. Obviously, if you have a staircase in the middle of the room, you're gonna block something somewhere. But again, I don't know if that's such a huge problem. Let's just go back. We don't want to go this way. Because if you have like a staircase in the middle, say, of the space, if you stand, I think I need to show you this. If you stand in one spot, alright, so the staircase is going to block one view, but then you can just kind of walk sideways a little bit and see the rest. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a... I don't think that's a huge problem. Let's just get some wool, and we'll kind of block in kind of where things are. So imagine if you're like down here, and maybe there's like a staircase. You know how 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just be generous and just make a massive staircase. It's not that massive, but 10 by 10. You know, you think that's quite big, but remember, you know, staircases usually take more space than you think, so might as well just give yourself 10 by 10 or even bigger just to be safe, right? So we estimate we need a 10 by 10 staircase. Let's say it's going to be this big. We're going to need some light as well, don't we? Decorations torch. So let's just do that. So imagine if that's the staircase and you're down here. Okay, I see. So the scale of that is a problem, because if you're, say, on this side of the storage, it goes down even more. If you're on this side and you're looking across, that thing's gonna block a substantial... well, it's lava. A substantial part of the other side. And if you have multiple staircases in this place, yeah, I see what you mean. So then you can't see the other wall. That thing's gonna block. You have to walk all the way around here to see what the staircase was blocking earlier. Okay, I see. Well, if you don't want that, then the answer is either... no, not even either. The answer would be to put the staircases outside the space. If I read your message correctly, what you're doing is you have these walls and you have chests in the walls, and you're just gonna dig back and then add more chests in each direction. I would consider putting the staircases in the corner, like past this space, like in there, in here. Maybe have like 4 staircases, one in each corner, and then I have doorways coming out. So then that way the staircases aren't actually in the space, right? So you can have little archways in the corners, and the storage, if I read this right, so there's a column there, so that might be a problem, but what is this? Where do these doors go? I don't know what this is about. But yeah, like if you have the staircases in there, then they won't obstruct the space at all. Right? So is that a good answer? I think that'll work, because as you say, like if you put any staircases in the middle like that, it's gonna block some of the views. I mean, you can also... I mean, this is a really big staircase. You can also consider having, large staircases going diagonally up like that. And although this would obstruct some of the things, it won't. Actually, I mean, it will obstruct No, it will break the pattern completely. That probably is not a good idea. Imagine if you have a diagonal line, going up like that. That would completely mess up that pattern there, the rectangles and the verticals and horizontals. So that's probably actually a bad idea, so don't worry about that one. Yeah, I would suggest putting it in the corners, or consider that as an option. Alright, so next up, columns. To connect the rooms together, I'm using small paths which pass under columns which go from floor to ceiling over all 4 levels. But these columns are not based on any designs. The main problem though are the smaller columns which support the individual levels. I'm worried I've made them too small, but I've tried other things like reducing number of columns and increasing the size, but that just made them look fat. Another thing is that the columns are the same size as the exterior columns, and I wanted to give the player a perspective of size. What do you mean exterior columns? You mean these? These columns? Oh, so that's not actually to scale, I see. So these columns are all single block. No, don't worry about, well, I don't know. I don't think you need to worry about the relationship between the exterior and the interior. Just because they're going to be two completely different things. Like when you're in the exterior, you don't see inside very much. Likewise, when you're in the interior, you don't see outside very much. So I don't think that's a problem. The fact that they're the same size. Like they're two separate things here. It seems like. I don't know, that's what it seems like to me. The bigger issue is if you think these things are too small, let's just come down here and see what they look like. So from here, I think these look fine. I mean, they're only 4 blocks up. So making them 1 block in thickness, I think is fine. 1, 2, 3, wait a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay. Okay, why is this red block here? I take it you've already seen the prototype Imagine, yeah, so you just kind of push back here and then put chests along each side. I mean, look, this view is fine. This looks great, I think. This looks fine. So the upper area is, I think, pretty much the same. Oh, he says this is decorative. And then the next floor there, that's the same thing as the underneath. Okay, so I think that looks fine from that perspective. Let's step back. I think that's also fine from that perspective. What's the problem? I'm worried I've made them too small, but I've tried other things like reducing the number of columns, increasing the size. No, I think that part is fine. If anything, I think this is slightly odd. I mean, if this is not a problem, I would actually double the number of columns down here. I either double the number of columns down here or increase the size of them. So if you imagine we double the number of columns. Also, you can't have columns not coming down like that. That is structurally very bad. Because if you're in the real world, you have weight on that column, like you have kind of mass pushing down on that column. And if you're pushing straight down, that's fine. But when you kind of make a turn like this, you put a lot of stress on that beam there, and you break it quite easily. What you want to do is have the line come straight down to the ground. I don't know why you chose to kind of offset them like that. So either put more columns down here, or what if we make these thicker? What would that look like? Given that these are odd numbers, this would have to be 3 blocks thick. I think down here, because these things are so tall, having them thicker would be kind of okay. It depends what you want behind there though. I'm not sure what you actually want there. I don't know. Up to you. Up to you. Maybe just increasing the number of columns down here would be the better thing to do. I don't see any problems with the columns above. I'm not sure. What do you say? Small paths. The main problem though are the smaller columns which support it. I'm worried I made them too small. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Like this. Those things you mean? Or those things? Small paths which pass in the columns go from floor to ceiling over all 4 levels. The main problem are the smaller columns which support the individual levels. We're gonna make them too small. Reducing the number of no, I think he means these. Or these. I think those are fine. I think those just put more of them in. Try putting more of them in, or making them bigger. I don't think that's a huge problem. Like, is that a problem if you have more of them? Anyway, so the next thing, the entrance. The entrance is the only thing that I've had a go at designing in survival so far. It looks a bit crap. I tried outlining it in dirt at first. It looked quite good, but after covering it in planks, I'm not so sure. I'm having trouble with the entrance gate, so to speak. The problem is that I don't want the entrance to be too grand. Because it's based on a level in a game where you emerged from a small room and find yourself in a huge open area, and I wanted the player to be surprised with the size of the room. He says the main problem is the entrance gate. What I would do is to bring this forward, because so you don't need to make it any bigger than this, but make it forward. You see how at the moment they're all in the same line, like that. Like if you bring this forward, maybe like one more module. What is this, like 2 blocks there? So we go 1, 2, and then put another set of columns there. Let's say, and then bring that out. I mean, you have to design this for yourself. But oops, we should probably put that there. So I'm just kind of doing this roughly, right? I'm not doing this properly or anything. And then bringing this stuff forward. Oops. And that and there, and I don't know how the rest goes. Alright, however the rest goes. So then it's more obvious that it's the front door because it sticks out. But it's no bigger than before. I think that's what you want to do. Is that good? Is that good? I think that's a bit better. Maybe even further out. And maybe different materials? I don't know if you want to... Did you say... After converting to planks, I'm not sure. I don't want the entrance to be too grand. I mean, it's not grand, but you want it to be slightly more obvious. What if you make this a different material? I know you said you didn't use the sandstone. Like, what if we use the sandstone here? It's still that yellow color, though. It's not a different color. Maybe a different material? Maybe like logs? I don't know. Maybe logs is not good. Maybe bricks? But experiment a bit. Maybe try different materials and have it stick out so it's not any bigger than before. You don't have to make it too fancy. But it's just to differentiate it from the rest of the building. Right? Aha, captured pigs. What else is he asking? Resources are not too much of a problem. I mean, you're removing a lot of cobblestone, so obviously you're gonna have resources to work with. Although shipping my supplies from my first base might take a while, yeah, that's fine. If you have if you want to have a look, let me know. Alright, so he's just gonna give me this map. Alright. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Petrock actually has that many problems. A few minor things. But I mean, he's gone and designed a whole lot of stuff, and it's pretty good so far, right? I mean, you guys, I don't know if you guys think of anything. Obviously, I want this to be a bigger discussion as well, so if you have any ideas as well, feel free to leave them in the comments. It's always good to get more opinions. But I think the entrance, have it stick out like that, and then back here, those columns probably should be more. I'm not sure though. As you say, they look a bit narrow. They do look a bit narrow. Those, I don't think those are a problem at all. But, yeah, but just kind of dealing with the size of this project. If it were me, I would dig out the first level. Even that's gonna take you a long time. What did you just say? It'll take you, what is that? 60 hours with stone pickaxe? So 1/4 of that is still gonna take you 15 hours to dig up one level. That's a lot of time. So I would just do the first level. Actually, how big is my fireworks? It's a bit smaller than this, right? And that took me ages. So I dig up the first level and build that. I mean, even that's gonna be plenty of storage for you already. And then later on you can dig down if you ever want to. I don't know if that's even necessary later on, but you know, if you really want to, then go for it. But I would do it one level at a time instead of trying to dig the whole thing for 60 hours and then just get really, really bored of it. I think that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else. I think you're doing well so far. I mean, most of it looks good. Corners, the columns, and then the staircases in the corner itself. That's not a problem, right? Because these storages go straight back, and so there's going to be space in the corners. Am I reading this right? If I am, then I think this would be a good enough solution. Also, have you considered what to do about the ceiling and the floor? You might want to do something special with the ceiling as well. I mean, a dome? A dome's always cool. Or something else. Anyway, I'll leave that up to you. But I would imagine that if this is going to be a big open space, you want something cool on the ceiling as well. Something in the middle? You say you don't want to obstruct the views, but anyway, up to you. So just gonna, yeah. So you've got plenty of work to do. I don't want to give you more work. I just want to, like, I'm always aware of that, especially since I've been in design school, in architecture school. Like, sometimes the tutors will just give students more work, and like, there's no limit to creativity, and so you can just kind of give students more and more and more work, and you just stress them out, and then it doesn't actually help all that much. So I always try to suggest relatively simple things that can be done to improve things. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say for this one. Yeah, you're doing, like, this is good, Petrock. This is yeah. I don't think you need my advice that much. I think I helped a little bit. I'm hoping that just putting your ideas down in words was helpful to you in sorting things out as well. Because, you know, I've said this before in other videos, like, getting my response is not always the important thing. Sometimes just you writing the message to me, by putting your ideas down in words, it helps you clarify for yourself your ideas as well. So sometimes it works like that. You don't even have to ask me anything. Although you kind of have to put it down in words, but you don't really need to hear my answers sometimes. And sometimes I would answer really simple things, but the majority of the insight will come from you yourself. And if you can do that, then that's good for you as a designer, of course. You know, you can fix your own problems. Okay, I'll end this here. And if Petrock has any other questions, or try them out and have any other ideas, I'd love to see how this progresses. Obviously, this is, as he says, a work in progress. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. Yeah, just be really, really cautious about the amount of digging you're gonna do. Alright, I'll see you guys. This is SCKChui's Minecraft Design School. You send me your questions and your save file or your server IP address, and I will give you architecture design advice and feedback. See the video description for more details. Seriously, you should read the description before you send me anything. Thank you.